Welcome back to Trekyards, everyone. He is Commander Cuck.
He's Captain Foley.
And today we're going to talk about Picard, Season 3, Episode 8.
What do you think, Stuart?
Could have moved faster. The last two could have been one, I think. Some interesting details in this one. And, hey, is it a bridge window? No, it's blast doors. Spoilers. Right. The data stuff was really good. The data lore stuff, I like that. I like seeing the return of Sherlock Holmes stuff. That was also really great. Honestly, we still are hitting that brick wall when it comes to Jack. And I'm just like, that the end of that episode was a real like, hey, slap to the face, buddy. Because we're just going through that door now. So I want the answers. The Jack mystery box has run its course. Let's get that over and done with. I really expected more movement on this one. For me, it was better than last week, I think, but still one of the weaker ones from this season. So that's kind of my wrap up there. So what about you?
Yeah, similar in that it's obviously a good episode. What I kind of walked away thinking was the last two should have been one movie with a bigger budget, at least in terms of what they're trying to do. You know, the villain takes over the ship. There's a sort of a let's take the ship back plan. It's very minimal, but there sort of is one. Data stuff was fun, was interesting. Somewhat predictable in the sense of we hoped that was going to be the result, but they could have done the lore twist that would have been acceptable. Sad, but except like there was enough momentum for that. And his scene with Geordie was wonderful. I walked away from that scene thinking, damn, give us a spin-off of these two guys just doing buddy things. You know what I mean? They're obviously the actors know each other so super well, and to bring their chemistry back was lovely and yet different. And again, Brent acting another character, and also fully addressing the season 1 death. That me is dead, and he is happy to be dead, but this me is very happy to be alive. It's like, good, we've moved past.
And Patrick asked permission. I hope we didn't dishonor your memory by bringing you back. I love that because I knew that the fans were going to complain about that. So, good job, Terry, for putting that in.
Yeah, we entirely addressed Shay Bond's weird choices and moved past it. It was very good. Deanna was good. Was exactly what you'd hope. Good scenes with Riker. It still felt a bit odd to see dealing with the sun after season 1's. Felt like we'd already dealt with the sun. I know they've re-retconned that, but it was weird that was the entire story. It was something we've already finished 2 years ago. But it was well acted. Riker was on form. It was funny. The Worf scene with Deanna was like icing on a cake of a scene. I mean, that was genius.
Is this a rescue or is this the continuation of the torture? Yeah, Riker was good in that. Good.
Yeah, it's really, really clever little scene. The stuff with Shaw's fun. Seven stuff's fine. The hatch was fun. It worked. Vadik served the purpose. I think the worst thing for me was the Raffi fight with the changelings, because the swords don't mean anything. You're fighting goo. They're not like we saw the big guy go from clothes to goo, so he's not even wearing real clothes. So nothing she's doing is doing anything. Like, she has phasers that can disintegrate them in theory. Like Worf had one, and in fact they have 3 Nemesis phasers in that sequence. They give them to Riker and Troy very subtly. Just cool. Like, she could just have double Nemesis phasered them. She's a smart lady. You can't stab changelings to death.
Yeah, if she had a sword in one hand and a phaser in the other, and she would take them out with the sword just to kind of practice and test herself, and then phaser them instantly, that would have been great.
Yeah, but then she would have won too easily, because that makes changelings look stupider as well. Because why are they hand-to-hand fighting a lady when them getting punched does nothing? They don't feel pain. It was just an odd scene. But apart from that, I mean, there were very few problems, and there's quite a few great things and a lot of okay.
Well, yeah, I thought the Deanna stuff was fantastic, actually. I thought that was very well played. Their discussion, everything about that was good.
And it made the set look really interesting as well. That, with the lighting and the fractals, that was a really nice looking set piece, I thought.
I gotta say, though, with watching Mandalorian yesterday, which you did not do, but you'll get to it at some point, they mentioned Nepenthe and Mandalorian, and then we get Nepenthe reference today in Picard as well. It's a totally different thing in The Mandalorian, but... it's the exact same word, and I'm like, what? They chose to use that in Mandalorian, and then the day later, it appears in a Picard episode. It's like, wow, okay. The scenes between Riker and her were fantastic. I'm not the biggest Troy fan, as you know, but I think very well done. The character, her acting, everything was good. And yeah, that scene with Worf, Amazing. Yes, exactly. The cloaked shuttle, I thought was a little strange. Where'd they get a cloaked shuttle from? But
Well, they didn't. They still had the Burrell Bird of Prey cloak. I assume they just gave it from Titan to the shuttle. They gave Worf it because Worf actually had to go do missions. So he was one point he had a cloak.
Oh, okay. I guess. But then they reinstall it on the Titan at the end?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's fine.
I'll buy it.
I mean, it's a big prop to fit a small shuttle. Like, I would love to have seen a shot of that just shoved at the back.
And poor Tavine. I really liked her character, and I was hoping that if the Titan gets a show that she would stick around, but I guess not now. So,
well, that was ballsy of them to actually have, because there's like 7 people in the lineup and 2 unknowns. Convention dictates to kill one of the unknowns, and so when they put 2 knowns in the scene, it has attention. I don't want either of them to die, and then the curveball killing a third was a very smart. I mean, that's sadistic, which is great. And then, of course, the Star Trek 2 or 3 literal, tell him, I'm sorry, Admiral, he killed, that was right out of Star Trek 3, it was verbatim, basically. But that was actually really, I mean, you've seen 1,000 of these sequences in film and TV, and I've just seen a new one. Hadn't seen that before, so I appreciate that.
Of how Jack goes to the bridge, and he's like, yeah, my mother taught me in good manners, and I brought you a gift, a thermal detonator. I know more than just me thought that. And it turns out it wasn't actually a bomb. It was actually just a force field generator. That was interesting. Getting them off the bridge with the emergency doors, that's kind of like this is not a window, guys. That's like basically telegraphing that to everybody, which I like. I was surprised, but the emergency evacuation for the bridge, that's a thing.
I think it was a fun twist.
Yeah.
The 7-line get off my bridge is a bit too much like Sigourney Weaver's line. It's a little bit too on the nose, which is funny. I just commended the Star Trek 3 line, but that felt more organic. And funnily enough, I loved the use of the F word, effing solids. I thought that was pitch perfect. I don't encourage swearing, but if it makes sense, it makes sense. If that was the one in the season, that would have been really funny because it's true. Like, you guys suck. And then, yeah, no, it was actually a fun sequence, and it was. You could tell they ran out of, they didn't put much budget into it. It was very limitedly seen, but effective. And yeah, not a window. But of course, because, as we saw in First Contact, you can have window frames that are force fields. You could, of course, open that shutter and have a force field and be a window. So that I could see possibly being episode 9 and 10. Now we've introduced it as a MacGuffin that we can open it as a door. We can use it as a window.
Yeah.
Force field.
The problem with the scene, unfortunately, is it ruins the scale of the ship. Again, like I said,
didn't think of that. No.
It is very much just a Constitution class refit size, exactly like it looks like on the outside. It is not the size that they say it is, because when you look at the size of the doors and the inside of the bridge, do the math, it just does not work out.
Well, yeah, you've given us a direct scale parallel that you can't be ignored. I mean, David Blass even released some blueprints, some basic ones of the bridge. Like, you know exactly how big the ship is now based on that, and I would love to do some sequences of it at the true scale, because it'll all fit. It'll fit super well. But I thought it was fun. That was fun. And Vadek's death looked nice. And then the fact that we linger on the smash was really harsh in a good way.
Yeah, I expected when it was like drifting, when she was drifting towards the deflector thing to like start to thaw out or something, and kind of fall into it and get like ionized. But I love the shatter, and I thought, yes, are they going to like start like forming it back together before something else happens?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because certainly the deflector could have been warming her as they got close. If you can't really kill a liquid being in the same way, so they could bring her back in the abstract if she's now in a million frozen pieces. And if you could push it. I mean, if you brought Data back 3 times, if you brought Brent back 15,000 times, I mean, they could. She's not dead, but she's not going to come back in this season. Like, she's gone, but you could bring her back. I thought that was a nice way of doing it, and by being very visually harsh, which is fun for a villain.
It's weird. It's like a reset, though, because we've got 2 estrades left. We got rid of the villain we've had for 8 episodes.
And the ship. So no longer a villain ship.
Yeah. Destroying Shrike was good. But then, we got to find out who this face is. We got to still find out about Jack, which will be hopefully right away next episode. Get that out of the way. That mystery box has really outlived its stay. It's just, please get rid of that.
Well, thing is, his plan, it's about what he can do, not who he is. Which was an interesting twist. They don't want him for secret DNA. They just want his ability set, which very useful. Taking over an admiral to do a thing, that's great. but there isn't. It's not as deep as it could have been, which I think is actually a good thing. It isn't this grand. Either if they didn't make him into this who he is, then it's just we need him because of his power, or did they make him to be able to do it for the plan? Either way works, but it's actually simpler than that. So I think, we can. It doesn't define him, and if it turned on for a reason in the last month, kind of implies it might be reversed. So I can see a simple reset button by the end of the season. He was infected by something on the Ilios 2 months ago on purpose to start the transition, and then Beverly could work out a way of turning it off, and then we just have a nice closing. I could see. So it's lined up to be less grand than it could be, while still just getting Starfleet v Starfleet, big space battle at the end near Space Dock.
The other interesting thing that they touched on and then immediately left was Picard's body. They removed his parts of his prefrontal lobe that included the aromatic syndrome for some reason. What do they want with that? Now, I don't know if you remember, but Eric Martin, one of my friends and one of our subscribers, his idea was that the aromatic syndrome was the key, and that's been mentioned twice now. It was something else, and then now it's removed, and then we're just moving on from that. So I'm interested about that. And I want to hear everybody's theories about that, because that's really interesting. So comment below.
It was, again, put in there and then moved past, which tells it it'll be huge, but also not important right now. But also confirms it's not about Picard, it's about his rare genetic... to remove the physical... it was just a shell, who cares at this point? They've taken what they need. Of course, you've got to ask when, because if Vadic was chasing the guys for a while, was the biological part of Picard's brain still on the ship that got blown up, or did it go off to the villain yet?
That's right, his body got destroyed. Oh my god.
Well, yeah, did it? They might have had time to grab it and put it in the shuttle, because because all you get is we've been found. They could have just gone and killed.
Then they run out of the room though.
They could have gone to go fight them, and then because they got since a few left, a handful of changelings, you can disintegrate them in 1 second. I imagine they could have killed them all and then grab Picard, because it seems odd to blow up Picard's body after reasserting it in the Shrike. Just it's a weird thing to do.
If they're going to do that, I would have preferred that Worf and Raffi leave the room and you see Riker and Deanna kind of linger, or go to each end of the thing. That would, because they made no indication, but maybe that was the reason. The reason for that was to make us think that the body is destroyed, and yes, they actually did shuttle it away.
Yeah,
okay,
it works either way. But it seems odd to reintroduce it and Patrick, sit in that glass vase for 10 minutes.
Yeah, I thought that too.
To blow it up. It's a weird choice. But like I say, I really commend them. But Deanna walked him in the Nemesis phaser, as did Riker. So Worf had a couple on him, and he handed them out like candy. Yeah, good for them. But speaking of good for them, audio cues. Boy, bringing back the musical stings from Nemesis every time it mattered was really, really nice. Really grounded the scenes in the basicness of this is Geordi and Data back alive again. Take it. We give it to you. Take it. Really good music again. Really, really solid. Lovely themes. Yeah. Good music.
The last episode and this episode, I think, should have been just one episode. I don't think it was movie worthy because there wasn't enough action necessarily.
Well, you'd have to, that's what I say, the budget to make it bigger. You'd have to have a space battle or something extra. But conceptually, it could have been a movie.
Anyway, the crew's back together, saw them on a briefing room table, talking at the end. That was great.
There we go. Boy, a lot of cutaways. A lot of constant editing, because there's 8 of them to cover. Because normally, in those scenes in TNG, it would be Picard, Data, and Riker talking, and Worf gets one shot, because he says one line, and you don't have to focus on him. It's not a problem, it's just finding how many people we have to serve in the editing. And everyone's in uniform now. Everyone has swapped the away team jackets, because why not? Although, even though I like them better in live action, the fact that Geordi and Data's look red, despite their orange, is a weird lighting choice, because they're meant to be orange. But they both look red. So everyone looks like wearing red, but they're not.
Well, speaking of Data and Geordi, there's some good scenes between them. At the end, where it's he makes a joke, and it's I think that was really well played. I love the look on Geordi's face too when he thought that Data was surrendering and Laura was winning. He was visibly upset, and that was really well done. I think that those scenes were fantastic. And
the scenes with the legacies, just they raised the material so high.
Yeah, and lore versus data. Those were really good, really well done. So
Ironically, reserved those scenes. They could have pushed it way further.
Yeah, they could have.
I mean, and it was the only green screen pretty much the entire show. They've been very limited in that. I would have taken more of those scenes. I would have had lore be more grandstanding, data be more referencey. Although I will say the only thing I didn't like about those entire sequences was that last episode, there's a giant beat of LaForge saying, "I won't lose my friend again by lowering that partition. I won't do it." This episode is like, "We have to do it. Okay, I'll do it." There's no fighting. It's so tonally, like, that was 45 minutes ago, and he's like, "Okay, let's do it," and then they lose data in the same minute. It's
become a no-win situation though, so I can kind of see the change there. But
they've got out of worse, and losing data forever. Like, he was so adamant. There was zero pushback. I know low win, but they needed one beat of push something, because he was too moving on.
6 years ago, you attended my anniversary. That's great. Oh, that's him. Yeah. Again, kind of bashing the Chateau Picard wine.
Everyone does.
Yeah.
Everyone does. But that was great, because those sorts of lines are so radically important, because we got season 1 context. He hasn't seen the crew in 20 years. Everyone hates him. He's alone. He's going to die there alone. He's really sad. And now we're retconning that he saw Riker for dinner. He went to see Geordie 6 years ago. Like, we're heavily retconning every chance we can. No, he saw them every once in a while. Like, he wasn't a stranger. He just didn't for a bit. That's right.
Uh-huh.
That's nice. That's good.
Beverly, which he hadn't seen for 20 years. But
yeah, but, you know, very, very specific to that. And yeah, having them all at the table is lovely. You can never give everyone enough to say. That's the definition of a round table. We have 6 actors. You can't. But it shows you don't need much more. Like, just give us scenes of those 6 people sitting around a desk talking, and you can just flood screen time with it. The small notes, the small good notes raised it well. The fact that the other bits were okay is okay. And the ending was annoying as all hell, because I thought we were going to end on like, boom, Romulans, boom, Dominion, boom, 8472, like one frame of visual, then cut. So we'd say, "Oh, dang it." But the fact that we cut before that was very disappointing in a good way. But now the payoff has to be even better. To end an episode with a cliffhanger, it has to be literally the best reveal, whereas it could have been a great reveal this week. It has to be the best reveal next week. Can't be his face, can't be Picard. Has to be something giant and incredible, or it's not going to play.
The thing is, how many times have we had the best of both worlds? Fire, dun 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 dun, and then it's just like a next episode fizzles out. Is that going to be the case here? That's why they didn't give us the reveal, because it's underwhelming. It'll be like, oh, that's what it is. Okay, 5 minutes later, we've forgotten all about it. Moving on.
It can't be, though.
I hope not, but I'm concerned. Because so many times going to a commercial break or just going to the end of a first part of a 2-parter, like the best of both worlds is perfect. That whole fire, and you got that dun dun dun, that huge musical beat, and then it's like, bzzz. That did nothing. All right, moving on. That's one of the ones we always reference, is because that was such a and that was
9 months of build up. Yeah.
I had to wait a whole summer to see the end of that, and it's like, ugh.
Well, I hoped you forgot about the last episode. Like, you know, it was cool. I don't remember why, but yeah, I know what you mean. But it's all on Terry and the team, because Terry did direct the last 2, I believe. Well, I know he did the last 1. I think he made the last 2 as the last bulk chunk. But the entire season is about this. No ifs, no buts. So it has to be giant.
Oh, I'm hoping. Fingers crossed, man. Fingers crossed.
And I still think 8472 could be logical. There's enough. They didn't give us any more information. That's the thing. All they gave us is that Vadik knew everything. Okay. Does it tell us anything? No, not really. And voices. And she was jealous of the voices.
Which made sense, because the Grey Link, she's been absent from that.
Yeah,
so.
that links more towards changelings, but I was like, everything else in the episode says not changeling. Everything.
Well, now the voices, a lot of people are going to speak up saying that it could be the Borg as well, so.
But I don't know why Vadik would be jealous of that. Yeah. That wouldn't fit with her.
Yeah, I know. I'm just.
Yeah. Plus, again, red. If it was green, it'd be obvious, but red to go into green would not fit well. And yeah, April 7-2 still possible. Weird possible. Again, they have telepathy, they have mind powers. It's close, you know. But yeah, no. I do think this episode probably improved last week as well. I think knowing some of the small moments, I think the momentum helped.
I would agree, but I just think the last two just for like a bump in the road as far as the whole season's gone so far. Hopefully, if the next two are really fantastic, these are going to be like the easily forgotten ones.
Yeah. Well, it feels like this should have been a 1-part, 70-minute special. Not full movie.
Yep. No, I agree.
Or 65, like a Game of Thrones. They're like, well, we're doing that. Here we go. And then, you know. Because then I think it would have played much stronger because of the momentum would have carried you through into Vatic taking over. Yeah. But yeah, pretty good. Pretty good.
But guys, comment down below what you thought about this episode. What do you think behind the red door? Is this going to be an epic reveal? You think it's going to fizzle out? Let us know your comments, your thoughts, all that down below. And make sure you subscribe to the channel. Click the notification bell icon so you don't miss any content from us. And by all means, join us for lives where we discuss this and so much more.
And let us know also what you think of the TNG full cast reunion. We got it. This is the moment in theory that everyone built up towards over the last while, and what everyone asked for from season 1, which was just this. There you go. And if you want to support what we do here, the many videos, you've seen what we do here, you guys know. Support us on Patreon, it's monthly. Join the channel on YouTube, that is monthly too, and you get to be part of the fleet with those said donations. It's really cool, and the more captains, the more ships, the more eras, the more just fun we have. And we have got plans for fleet events that are going to be a bit ridiculous.
Yes, but fun.
The meta game of Trekyards, it's going to be... Wait and see. Or support us one-time donation. Super chatting during any live. We love it. We need it. It helps the conversation flow. Also, with thanks on any video you enjoyed. Anything makes the show go round. Or PayPal, trekyards@hotmail.com. All mounts up. And we thank you in advance for all of it.
That's right. So until next time, he is Commander Cockings.
He's Captain Foley.
What's behind this door?
Oh.
Nothing. Empty room.
It's also a hallucination, technically. I mean, it's brain space.
Yeah.
Bye, guys.
Bye.